What's up, guys? It's Flash, back with some more charts and another video. Today is Wednesday, May 8th, around 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Apologies, I haven't posted for the last week. I was in Hawaii, actually, for a week-long vacation, and let me tell you, that place is special. I was over in Kauai. So, again, sorry I haven't posted. I was looking at the charts though. A ton has been happening in the past week or so. And then just kind of checking in on things this Wednesday. We look at the monthly chart. It really looks like nothing really has changed, to be honest. But that's the beauty of, I would say, big picture time frame analysis and having conviction and seeing things with clarity. So I think that's kind of what these charts help me do and help me to communicate with you guys kind of what I'm seeing and to keep our confidence, if you will. So, you see on the right side of my screen here, we got kind of a red day. I mean, we had a big green week last week, and then kind of just a red day today. So we got to take the good with some of the bad, and just kind of know that we're going to continue stair stepping our way up if things continue to play out as the charts look like they're going to, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go through our tickers. We'll start with URA, and we maybe jump out onto the weekly a little bit just to get a little bit more detail, but I don't really like to go too deeper than that. And then I picked out some charts here, which I'm going to show you as I go through them, just some of the ones that I think are a little bit more special out of the bunch. And it really has to do with their ratio versus the S&P versus gold versus the URA broader index. And they just look so good. And so I just want to highlight them, give them a shout out. I think CCJ is also on that list. So we'll go through URA. I'll drop it on the weekly just a little bit, but give you some commentary here. But this is the 36-week moving average, and look where we are. We're kind of just finding support. Still an inclining moving average, so all looks healthy, all looks good. Probably an ugly, I think I saw on Twitter yesterday, like an ugly candle yesterday because we shot up and then had this wick here and then kind of a follow through day. But again, we're just going to go chop up and down, but with an upwards trajectory over time, right? And so these moving averages kind of tell us, the direction. So huge move up here. On the 2-day time frame, we've kind of gone sideways since then, just kind of consolidating up and down, up and down. If we look at the 3-day, still rising on the 3-day, big time rising on the weekly, and even more so kind of following this bluer bowl on the monthly. So all looks good, all looks great. Looking at our ratios, URA versus SPX, again, we're inclining kind of on this trend line. The monthly's hugging that. If we want to go into the weekly, up, sideways consolidation, and it looks like we're continuing the uptrend here. So we want to be outperforming S&P 500. It looks like this is one big base, one big rounded bottom, and maybe an upwards ascending triangle, if you will, venturing towards a breakout where we continue to break out versus the S&P 500, which was what we want to see in a bull market. If we look over URA measured in gold, gold's been on a tear. This is another thing we want to be outperforming gold in an inflationary environment where we think gold is going to be outperforming the S&P. If URA could outperform gold, then we are in a really good situation. Then we really need to look at, okay, which tickers are outperforming URA, if that makes sense. So I know that's kind of a bit of a tangent, but I think it makes sense. If you kind of just listen to that message, it's going to make sense. So we can put the moving average is on here. I kind of want to just put a little bit of a bowl here on URA versus gold on the moving average itself, right? So let's see if this can line up. Yeah, that lines up pretty good. Maybe go like this. And we'll give it a color here. Make that one blue, make that a little bit thicker too. So there's kind of a bowl within a bowl here. Again, this is following the moving average because it's a smooth line. And yeah, all looks great so far. Got a nice little breakout yet last week especially. So, but finding just some resistance on the 36-week moving average here. So it's just going to take some more time, probably consolidate to continue that march up. Okay, so I'll go through CCJ. I mean, again, inclining 3-year moving average. We're within that little bull flag if we want to go in on the weekly. You know, kind of, I think we made a new high yesterday. We'll drop in on the daily. Just looks so good. Yeah, we kind of, so we just poked our head up, try to get some kind of a little fake out, but now we're on support right here. So again, probably a couple days or so to consolidate here and hopefully continue that march upwards. And it's green. You know why it's green? I tagged it green because let's look at ratio versus the S&P 500. We're consistently outperforming the S&P 500. And then if we look at it versus gold here, we broke out of this horizontal, and we're kind of bull flagging against gold. So again, it's moving average with gold is moving up, which looks good. And then if we want to look at ratio versus URA, I mean, just a flat out performance of URA on an upwards trend. So it just looks so good. Again, that's why it's green. So all the leaders are pretty much green because they've been leading the way, because they look so good. But yeah, man, Bannerman, I mean, strong as ever. You know, ascending bull flag. I imagine this is eventually going to break out of this upwards channel. You know, I think I could actually draw this a little bit more, connect more of these lines, maybe like this. So Bannerman, I mean, damn, this looks good. It just looks so good. And yeah, there's going to be pullbacks, like I said, daily pullbacks, but I'm really just focused on the monthly. Like, okay, if we just continue following this bull, this trend, this moving average even, you know, by February of 2026, we could be at $13. And, you know, past that, you know, April or May of 2027, we could be at $34. Okay, the stock is at $4.58 today. So let's have some patience. Let's zoom out. Let's think about our future in 5 or 10 years, and let's have a little bit of conviction. And that's really what the Bannerman chart is telling us. Boss Energy, I mean, dude, this is following that parabola. Like, I wasn't sure if this was going to hold, but you start the parabola down here, you connect this low, and you connect it all up through here. Like, if we're talking, I mean, this is again, moon boy for me to say this, but we're at 555 today. We could be in October of 2026 at $120. Okay, you can do the math in terms of what that could return for you. And I'm not financial advice. Do your own research. Got to put that disclaimer in, but these charts are incredibly, incredibly powerful. Next is Paladin, another one. It just looks sexy. I mean, we're a little bit under this macro resistance, so we may get a little pause here for Paladin, but look what it did before. This can go straight up, slingshot moon boy. There's no reason why I can't do it again if the market allows it to, right? So let's look at the ratios. Paladin versus the S&P 500 just broke out of this horizontal. There's a point here, there's a point here, point here. Breakout versus the S&P. We have broken out versus gold. You know, we can probably draw this horizontal. I mean, this is resistance, it's support. There's some congestion right here, resistance right here. Broke out versus gold, and then, excuse me, a breakout versus URA. Like, we're kind of even going like this with URA into a megaphone of some sort. So man, Paladin looks good. Encore Energy making a run to break out of this horizontal. So all looks good here. Just got to be patient. This can continue going. FSY is another one that's still consolidating below resistance in a bull flag right here. But we're consolidating under a huge macro resistance. So it's a really good sign. I think this can pop. Again, if we follow this trend, today is May 8th, 2024. If we look at May 8th, 2028, we could be at $22, $23, somewhere up here. Just a possibility. UEC is another one that's it just has been leading the way, and it's still, this is one big consolidation, it looks like, if we think a little bit bigger, right? So UEC versus the S&P, kind of hard to click into here, my apologies. Consolidating under resistance versus gold. Look at that, we kind of popped our heads up here, bull flag against gold, against URA. I mean, this is just one consistent outperformance against URA. General trend like that. So that's why I love it. And then next gen, look at, we're down 14% today on next gen, and I'm not worried one bit. Yeah, we may have broken this channel. You know, we could probably draw this channel a couple different ways. There may be a larger pullback for next gen. That's okay. It's okay for a pullback. I mean, look at this stock. Up, down, up, down, up. Maybe some sideways or down, and then I would think it's going to continue up. Denison Mines is another one I want to kind of point out, like where we're kind of consolidating. We're above this little resistance that's now support. We are breaking out versus the S&P. We are kind of breaking out versus gold. It looks like we broke out. We're going sideways. Build the energy. And again, similar to UEC, just an upwards channel against URA. I like Denison Mines here. And then ISO is another one. Kind of been playing around with this chart as well. You know, if we drop into the weekly here, we've got a flag here, a flag there, kind of finding our way. But if we look out in the bigger picture, this looks like one giant bull flag. So base, breakout into a huge consolidation. This could continue. This could maybe break this trend. Not saying it won't, but similar to some of the other ones we're looking at, like Centrus or Energy Fuels, like a lot of them are kind of broader, bigger consolidation. More energy to go higher. Centrus, I'm going to go through these ones quicker because there's so many. But again, broader consolidation for Centrus. If we throw the moving average on, we're right at the 3-year moving average. Elevate, holding the 3-year moving average in this little flag. Again, broader consolidation. We could maybe say this is one, you know, a bigger bull flag even. Whoops. Here, I'm going to turn this magnet off, and I'm going to make this a little bit heavier. And I'm also going to remove the extension. And so, yeah, if we just kind of zoom out, huge bull flag, right? Underneath a huge channel. So I really like Elevate here as well. Sky Harbor, again, kind of a macro consolidation. Looks like we are breaking down of the arc. These arcs aren't intended to be perfect, just kind of a general support area, support line. So you may have to play with them sometimes, but it's just kind of an idea of a guidance of where price could go. But again, big consolidation. We're still basing out. This needs more time. Layer meat is another good one. Again, kind of continue to base out, chopping sideways, building energy. It's green because look what we're doing against the S&P 500. Big rounded bottoming formation. Same with gold, big rounded bottoming formation. So I think there's a ton of upside with layer meat. Actually, same with Mega, MGA. But yeah, extended pullback here. And another one is deep yellow, which I wanted to put your attention to because this is following that arc. Again, it's a projection. But if we look at momentum, distance percentage from the moving average, we're breaking out here with momentum against the S&P. Big bottoming here where it looks like we're about to start outperforming the S&P 500. And then with gold, same thing. We're trying to break out against this horizontal of gold, which is huge. And with URA, we're breaking out versus URA. Could even probably go like this, some sort. So deep yellow is one that I want to add to my I guess, portfolio. I want to continue adding to it. This is a juicy breakout right here at 160. Could run to $50 in 2 years, 3 years. That's wild. Okay, energy fuels found support. Found support where we were supposed to find support, right? And what did I say? This is probably a good place to look to add or buy. So we'll keep an eye on that. GLO continues to kind of need time. Another one, Western Uranium. Big rounded bottom. Like it looks like this IPO'd straight into a huge base rounded bottom. And then when we look at the ratios, momentum's looking good. It's breaking out of the horizontal against the S&P. Huge horizontal breakout coming up against gold. Huge horizontal breakout coming up, and then against URA as well. I mean, this is going to make a charge run. If it's 220 today, it could be at 40. And then UROI still has some work to do. F3 breaking down a little bit, but again, we're above a key support zone, kind of just ping-ponging back and forth here. Like this flag to hold, but it looks like it's kind of failing. Might need more time. Cap, just a massive cup and handle, it looks like, ready to go higher. And then Can Alaska retesting. Looks like it's retesting this horizontal breakout, which we could probably draw a couple different ways. I'm not gonna talk about the lagging ones until they are no longer lagging. But again, guys, sorry for being out for a little bit, but big pullback today after a really strong week last week, so probably we were due. But continuing the march up. This is Flash with a bigger picture and a newer brand. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.